Capital One has the most powerful credit card duo on the market, and I don't even think it's close. It includes the VentureX and the Savor One cards. And this bifecta does 5 things right that most other credit card issuers just flat out get wrong. And there's actually one huge reason why I consider the VentureX card the ultimate complementary card to any setup. So let's start with the first thing that this Capital One duo does so well, and that's by giving you 7 bonus categories to work with. The fact that it offers you 7 bonus categories with just 2 cards makes it really the best pound for pound credit card lineup that you can use, because you only have to carry around 2 credit cards. Just take a look at the VentureX here. You're getting a bunch of statement credits, but in addition to that, you're getting 2x miles on all other purchases every day. That's equivalent to a 2% cashback card if redeeming for cashback. It gets you 10x miles on hotels and rental cars booked through Capital One Travel, and then you're getting 5x miles on flights booked through Capital One Travel. Now, the Savor One, on the other hand, is going to get you unlimited 3% cashback on dining, entertainment, popular streaming services, and grocery stores, and then 1% back elsewhere. I just want to stop on entertainment for a second, because entertainment is something that we don't see very often. In fact, it's pretty rare to see a card offer a bonus category that covers live entertainment. So if you want to go to the latest concert, you want to go to a Taylor Swift concert or a Beyonce concert, it's going to be covered under the entertainment category with the Savor One card. And we know how much you could spend on those tickets when you're trying to get good seats at these concerts, right? To me, the huge deal with this setup is the fact that you're getting 2x miles on all purchases. So that means that the VentureX card is acting as a catch-all card for all other spend. Just in the recent past, you would have to sign up for like a Citi Double Cash card to get you that 2% cash back on all the remaining purchases that you would spend on. Now that's not the case, because with the VentureX card, it completely replaces any sort of flat rate 2% cash back card. And so it kind of does double duty in that respect. And don't let me forget, both of these cards come with some good sign-up bonuses, especially the VentureX card. I would say that's a great sign-up bonus, because guess what? You're getting 75,000 miles when you spend $4,000 on purchases within the first 3 months. And with the Savor One card, you're getting a $200 cash bonus once you spend $1,000 on purchases within the first 3 months. So if you put these 2 cards together, you're talking about $950 in equivalent value in those first 3 months as a sign-up bonus. So that's almost $1,000 in value just for signing up for these 2 cards. And by the way, if you're interested in either of these cards, I'll leave a link below so you can learn more about them. So I just want to drive home the point of how powerful having a catch-all card with the VentureX card and getting 2x miles back on all purchases. It's dead simple to get consistent earnings no matter what purchase you're making. So there's no reason to be tracking all the merchants that you're transacting with or purchasing from, because you never know how that merchant is going to code. Even if you go to something like a 7-Eleven, you're not sure if it's going to code for gas station or is it going to code for grocery store or dining. You really can't be too sure if someone hasn't gone there and actually provided that data point for you. For example, I recently did a move and I had to pay some movers, a moving company, to move my stuff. How does that exactly code? You tell me. In that situation, I'm not sure how that's going to code, so I'm going to put that purchase onto a catch-all card just to make sure I get maximum value for my purchase. And let's not forget about utilities. You got water payments, you have gas, you have electricity payments. How are those going to code? I had oil heating when I was living in New York. And so that oil heating bill didn't register as a utility payment. So I couldn't use my dedicated utility card. I have to use a catch-all card for those transactions. And I'll tell you, the great thing about the VentureX card is it can really be a one-and-done card. So if you really wanted to just use one card, then you could get away with doing that with the VentureX card, knowing that you're getting a premium travel card with benefits, a nice sign-up bonus, and you're getting 10x miles back on your hotels or rental cars, 5x on flights, but then you're getting that catch-all card just to make sure that you're getting at least 2x back on all your other purchases. So the VentureX card could really serve you well no matter where and how you use it. So I used to have a coworker that had the Capital One Venture card that with no annual fee, and he used it for all of his purchases. But here's the thing, he realized it was a no-brainer to sign up for the VentureX card because he at least took one major trip per year that would last 3 weeks to a whole month, and he would spend like $10,000 on this trip to India every single year. and he could easily make up for the statement credits of $400 in just one of those purchases for that trip. And let me say, it's good that he also had a $30,000 limit. And we're going to talk about that later because these Capital One VentureX cards come with extremely high limits if you're qualified. So this card is really good for filling in the gaps wherever you need them filled in because it just has that super high 2x miles rate on all purchases. Next, I got to mention that this is a super simple minimalist card setup. Keyword being minimalist. That means that there is very little going on here. You just got 2 cards to worry about. And there's a few benefits that go along with being a minimalist. Obviously, it's dead simple. There's no thinking required. You just have 2 cards that you can interchange for any transaction. When you're checking out at the grocery store, there's going to be no hesitation as to what card you're going to use because you automatically know that your VentureX card is for travel and weird general spending categories that isn't covered by your Savor One card. So you're going to pull that Savor One card at the grocery store. Also, both of these cards are in extreme contrast with each other when it comes to the color. So check this out. The Savor card is orange and the VentureX card is a navy blue color. So these cards are going to contrast extremely well and they're going to stand out when you're at the checkout line because one is orange and one is blue. You can't get that confused. Also, since you only have 2 cards to worry about keeping in your wallet, then it's going to be a really slim setup in your pocket. And even if you have a slim wallet like I do with the extra wallet, then you're going to have no problem fitting those cards in. Even if you have some other cards that maybe you're carrying around a health insurance card or your driver's license and a few other cards, you're going to have no problem fitting just these 2 more into that wallet. And if you ever have trouble making payments on time, maybe you're still on the manual payments. I know a lot of you like to make payments on a schedule and you don't want to rely on auto pay, then it's going to make it dead simple to make those payments because they're all going to be in one app, and that's going to be the Capital One app. So there's going to be a very low likelihood of missed payments when you're just dealing with one credit card issuer and one app. And since you're only dealing with one app and one issuer, those fraud alerts or any sort of alert when you have an over limit transaction is going to come through just one time, and you're only going to have to deal with one company. So fraud detection is going to be a little bit easier and faster from that respect. But personally, I wouldn't just rely on one safeguard when it comes to fraud protection. That's why I use Aura, the sponsor of this portion of the video. I get quick alerts about any suspicious activity when it comes to my credit report. And it comes with $1 million in identity theft protection. So I can get reimbursed for time missed at work and travel expenses during the time I'm clearing up my identity theft case. Listen, I have over 20 cards that I'm juggling at this point, and I like having the peace of mind that I have all around digital protection. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial of Aura just by clicking the link below. Just type in aura.com/Cal Barton. And I forgot to mention, it's like 5 services in one, since it provides a password manager, antivirus protection, a VPN, a home title monitor, and data broker removal. So definitely hit the link below to check out Aura for yourself. Another thing I really like about the Capital One Bifecta is the easy redemptions all around. And so what I mean by redemptions is that you're going to get a 10,000 mile anniversary bonus, which is equivalent to $100 towards travel, and you're getting this $300 annual travel credit. So that's $400 that you can use towards travel. And guess what? You're going to be able to use that in just one trip. In one go, one shot, you'll be able to redeem those $400 equivalent in travel. And if you're one of those people that was worried about the Capital One travel portal being more expensive than booking directly with the airline or the hotel, you actually have price match guarantee. And so check this out. Just on the Capital website, you're seeing price match guarantee for flights, hotels, and rental car purchases made through the Capital One travel portal. To qualify for Capital One's travel price match guarantee, you just need a few things. You need an exact match to the original itinerary that was made within the last 24 hours, priced in USD, so US dollars, including taxes and fees. It needs to be available to the general public, so it can't be an off-market ticket. And it needs to be available at the time that one of Capital One agents is going to verify that price. It even comes with free price drop protection. You get price monitoring for up to 10 calendar days. And if the price does drop, the difference will be issued as a travel credit up to $50. And speaking of more easy redemptions, you're earning a straight up 3% cash back with the Savor One card. You don't get easier of a redemption than cash back. And let's not forget, with the Savor One card, you can actually transfer those points over to the Capital One Venture X card as miles. And since you're using a premium travel card like the Venture X, guess what? You're getting travel partners, and you might be able to get some elevated bonuses when you transfer those points out. And so the travel partners that Capital One gets are Aeromax, Air Canada, Cathay Pacific, Avianca, British Airways, Choice Privileges, Emirates, Etihad, Finnair, Flying Blue, Qantas, Singapore Airlines, Tap Miles and Go, Turkish Airlines, Virgin Red, and Wyndham Rewards. And let's talk about redeeming rewards for a second, because you know with the Venture X card, you're getting $400 in statement credits with the anniversary bonus and the yearly $300 bonus. Those bonuses are going to give you $400 in value. Let's think about the average cost of a flight, and you might be surprised how much it is. Right here it says if you're flying out of LA, you're going to pay on average $438 in airfare on an average flight. Chicago is $390. Denver, Atlanta is $408. And so most of these are going to be $400 or above. So you're really going to be able to use those credits just in one go. But I'll tell you, personally, I don't really use the travel partners. I don't like to transfer points out or try to strategize. I'm really simple when it comes to those things. So with the Venture X card, if you want to use it in a simple way, you really can, with no calculations to do, no worrying about limited award availability, no blackout dates, no transfer fees, because we know those can creep up on you, no fluctuating points and miles values, no point devaluation for certain travel partners, and you just don't have to read a manual or watch a dozen YouTube videos to understand about how to use your card. I like to use my credit cards passively. I want them to work in the background, sort of like if you're into video games, like an AoE or area of effect value. I would like to use them to spend on purchases that I would normally do anyway and be able to go back after the fact and redeem those rewards or have them redeemed for me, ideally. A lot of people are running these $1,000 plus credit card lineups with these huge exorbitant annual fees, and I just don't believe in that. I just think they're trying to find the value somewhere, trying to force the issue, or altering their spending habits to conform to the credit card that they chose to use. That's just too much money to be on the hook for to justify every single year. And I say no thank you to that. And I spoke about this earlier, way at the beginning, that all Capital One cards have no foreign transaction fees. Yeah, that's right, 0% foreign transaction fees. 60% of credit cards today come with those 3% fees when you're traveling abroad. So if you're going over to Mexico and you want to buy some sort of keepsake to bring back home, you're going to be paying a 3% fee surcharge on all those purchases if you don't use the right cards. But with Capital One, you don't have to worry about that. So truly, this bifecta can be used domestically and worldwide, and you don't have to think twice about it. You know, I spend a lot of time really analyzing people, and I found that the general public, they relentlessly try to save money on everything that they can, but when it comes to this 3% foreign transaction fee, they will just absorb the cost after the fact as if it's just a standard way of doing business. You know, I even personally heard from a couple of coworkers, one going to the Philippines, another going to Italy, and they told me that they incurred these 3% foreign transaction fees after they came back. And they were sad about it for a few moments, but they said, listen, they just let it go. But what's really troubling to me is that they actually had one or two cards that had no foreign transaction fees. They just didn't know to use those cards instead of the ones with the fees. And guess what? They had like almost perfect credit. Their credit scores were well into the 800s. They could easily get approved for another card that had no foreign transaction fees. They just didn't give it too much thought. I would actually have both of these cards right now if Capital One let me downgrade from my Savor card, which I still have, it's metal, which is nice, which comes with a $95 annual fee. And so I knew I wasn't going to be using it that much to necessitate paying that annual fee. So I wanted to downgrade, but unfortunately they didn't have an option to do that. And I would easily have taken the Savor One card. I'm still rocking out with my Venture X card, which I still use on a regular basis today, mostly for travel. But if I had the option to rebuild my setup, and I wasn't a credit card enthusiast and I didn't run this channel, then I would be very inclined to just use this two-card setup of the Venture X and the Savor One cards as a bifecta because it's just that powerful, and I really believe in it. It comes with the travel benefits of having 1,300 plus lounges that you can share with family and friends because you can add up to 4 authorized users for free, and those authorized users get to add 2 people for free to bring into the lounge with them. And just take a look at this article. Amex is charging for most Centurion Lounge guests starting today. And this was back in February. If you have an Amex card with Centurion Lounge access, you're going to have to pay $50 for adults and $30 for children with that card. So the Platinum card actually got nerfed, and this makes the VentureX card even more valuable. So there's no denying that the Bifecta is a really good setup, mostly outweighed by the VentureX card because it's so valuable. In fact, it guarantees a $10,000 starting limit with the VentureX card. Right now, I'm sitting at a $23,000 limit. Plus, I told you about my former coworker who had a $30,000 limit with his VentureX card. So you got to check out the next video right here, where I show you that this is more having to do with Visa than Capital One, why that's actually a $10,000 minimum starting limit. Thank you for watching.